My beloved child, listen carefully, because something huge is waiting for you, and it begins with that one moment you thought was ordinary, the moment she laughed at you. You didn't know the universe paused for a second. You didn't know someone standing behind you froze, gripped by a wave of emotion they couldn't explain. You didn't know your smallest humiliation unlocked their biggest realization. They saw that woman laugh at you, and in that exact second, something inside them cracked open. Not in anger. Not in pity. But in a way that shook them to their core. Their chest tightened, their throat burned, and they whispered inside, "Why does this hurt me so much?" They didn't understand it fully, but suddenly your pain became their pain, your silence became their responsibility, and your dignity became the one thing they wanted to protect more than their own life. Amen. Blessing 111. In that moment, my beloved child, a story began that even destiny didn't plan for. A story that will make you realize that you are not walking through this world unseen. Because the person who stood there, the person who felt that emotional earthquake inside their heart, they weren't just anyone. They were someone who had been trying to ignore their feelings for you for months. Someone who pretended they didn't notice you. Someone who acted indifferent, distant, cold, and detached. Someone who convinced themselves they were immune to you. But when she laughed at you, something shattered inside them, something they couldn't hide anymore. Their eyes followed you even when you looked away. Their heart beat faster even when you tried to stay calm. And the embarrassment that hit you like a storm hit them 10 times harder. They wanted to step forward, wanted to defend you, wanted to tell that woman to stop, but they couldn't. Not because they were weak. But because the intensity of what they felt overwhelmed them so deeply, they froze. They stood there drowning in a truth they didn't want to face. They care about you more than they ever admitted, even to themselves. Amen. Blessing 222. And my beloved child, you have no idea what happened to them after you walked away. You thought no one noticed. You thought it was just one more moment of disrespect you had to swallow quietly, like you always do. But that person stayed rooted in place long after you left. Their eyes glistened. Their breathing changed. Their hands shook a little. The image of you, looking down for a second, hiding your hurt, played in a loop inside their mind. It broke them. It cracked them open. It made them emotional in a way they didn't know was possible. They realized something powerful: if anyone else ever tries to humiliate you again, they will not be able to control themselves. That moment awakened a fierce determination inside them. A silent promise. A vow. A shift so strong that even heaven leaned in to witness it. They walked away from that place with one thought burning louder than anything else: I will never let this happen to them again. Something huge is waiting for you, and this moment was just the beginning. Amen. Blessing 333. My beloved child, you need to hear this with a steady heart, because what happened after that moment will shock you. Something huge is waiting for you, and the universe is pulling you into the center of a story you never expected. That person. The one who became emotional when that woman laughed at you, spent the entire night replaying everything in their mind. They tried to sleep, but your face kept appearing behind their eyelids. The way you lowered your eyes for a second, the way you pretended it didn't hurt, the way you tried to act normal, it destroyed them from inside. They felt a rush of protectiveness so intense it scared them. They sat on their bed, hands on their head, whispering, "Why do I feel this? Why does their pain hit me like a punch?" That moment didn't leave them. It carved itself into their heart. And that's when it hit them: they are attached to you far deeper than they ever allowed themselves to believe. Amen. Blessing 444. My beloved child, the next morning something unbelievable happened. This person, the one who always hides their emotions, the one who acts strong, silent, mysterious, couldn't control the storm building inside them. They paced their room. They kept checking their phone even though you didn't message. They kept thinking, are they okay? Did they cry? Did they think they deserved that laugh? Their heart kept sinking when they imagined you feeling small. They kept imagining stepping in front of you, stopping the humiliation, shielding you with their presence. They imagined looking that woman dead in the eye and saying, "Don't you ever disrespect them again." They imagined holding your hand, lifting your chin, telling you softly, "You deserve respect every second of your life." But what shook them the most wasn't anger toward that woman, it was the realization that your silence hurt them more than the disrespect itself. They realized they cannot watch you get hurt ever again. Amen. Blessing 555. My beloved child, listen closely, because right now, heaven is aligning something massive in your life. That person, who used to stay far away from their own emotions, is now stepping into a transformation because of you. They began thinking about you in ways they never dared. They imagined what life would feel like if they stood beside you, if they protected you, if they supported you, if they were the one who wiped your tears whenever someone tried to break you. Something in them snapped awake. Something raw. Something real. Something powerful. And right now, they are fighting an internal battle. Should they express what they feel? Should they step forward? Should they confess? Should they tell you how deeply that moment changed them? They don't know how to say it yet. They don't know how to approach you without trembling. But one thing is crystal clear: they cannot look at you the same way again. They cannot treat you casually again. They cannot ignore their feelings again. Their heart has chosen you without asking for permission. Something huge is waiting for you, and this story is only getting stronger. Amen. Blessing 666. My beloved child, brace yourself, because what unfolded next will leave you stunned. Something huge is waiting for you, and destiny is shifting in silence. After that emotional night, this person couldn't hold it inside anymore. They tried going back to their routine, pretending nothing had changed, but every time they blinked, they saw you. Every time they tried to think straight, they remembered that moment, the laugh, your silence, the sting in your eyes that you hid so well. They felt a fire rising inside them, a fire they had never felt for anyone else. And for the first time in their life, they didn't run from it. They didn't suppress it. They didn't deny it. Instead, they let themselves feel it fully, and it overwhelmed them. They realized that your dignity, your comfort, your smile, your pride, these things matter to them on a level that defies logic. They confessed in their heart, "I care about them more than I care about myself." Amen. Blessing 777. My beloved child, the universe watched closely as this person made a decision that even heaven didn't expect. They started observing you more carefully, not out of curiosity, but out of a quiet devotion they didn't know how to handle. When you walked, their eyes softened. When you spoke, their heartbeat changed. When you pretended to be strong, they felt a pull so intense that it almost hurt physically. They became hyper-aware of you, your energy, your silence, your small reactions. They noticed that you try to laugh things off, hide your hurt, act unbothered, but they see through you like glass. And the more they saw your hidden battles, the more emotional they became. At one point, they whispered to themselves, "If only they knew how much I want to protect them. If only they knew what they mean to me now." That woman's laugh didn't break you, it awakened someone who was destined to stand for you. Amen. Blessing 888. My beloved child, here's the twist that destiny didn't reveal earlier. This person has started taking silent steps toward you. They asked about you indirectly. They watched who talks to you. They noticed who respects you and who doesn't. They are becoming the quiet guardian you don't even know you have. And deep inside, they are preparing themselves for something big. A conversation. A confession. A moment where they finally come forward and express everything they've been holding back. Their emotions are building like a rising wave that cannot be controlled anymore. They don't want to lose you. They don't want anyone else to hurt you. They don't want to stay silent anymore. That woman's laugh changed something in the universe, and now destiny is rearranging itself just to bring this person closer to you. Something huge is waiting for you, and this is only the beginning of what is coming. Amen. Blessing 999. My beloved child, the moment you've been destined to hear has arrived, and something huge is waiting for you right now. After days of holding their emotions like a storm behind locked doors, that person finally broke their silence. But not out loud, not in front of anyone, they broke it inside themselves. They admitted a truth they had been running from for far too long. Their heart reacts to you in a way it has never reacted to anyone else. The memory of that woman laughing at you did not fade, it became the turning point of their entire emotional world. Every single day since then, they've been watching you with a softness that could melt steel. They've been noticing your quiet strength, your attempts to stay calm, your efforts to not show how deeply things affect you. And each time you walked past them, their breath shifted as if the universe whispered, "Don't let this soul walk alone." My beloved child, they have reached a place where hiding their feelings has become impossible. They are drowning in the realization that you matter, not casually, not temporarily, but in a way that changes their destiny. And right now, their chest tightens with one burning thought: I cannot lose them. Not now, not ever. Amen. Blessing 1010. My beloved child, you don't know what happened behind closed doors, but destiny watched it unfold. That person sat down, hands trembling slightly, because they began writing something. Not a message to send. Not a confession to deliver. But words they needed to finally admit to themselves. They wrote about how deeply your silence affects them, how your courage inspires them, how your vulnerability pulls them in, how your pain wounds them more than their own. They wrote about the ache in their heart when they imagine you walking through life feeling unprotected, unnoticed, unvalued. They wrote about how that woman's laugh awakened something ferocious inside them, something protective, something emotional, something life-changing. They admitted that they replay that moment over and over, not because it hurt you, but because it revealed who they truly are when it comes to you. Their emotions for you are no longer quiet. They're no longer subtle. They're no longer something they can brush aside. Destiny has made their feelings too loud to ignore. And as they wrote those words, one single tear slipped down, not because they felt weak, but because they finally understood. You are the one person who can shake their soul without even trying. Amen. Blessing 11:11. My beloved child, the universe is moving in your favor at this very moment. This person, who once kept their distance, who once pretended not to care, who once hid behind walls, has now reached a point where your presence feels like the only place their heart feels alive. They are planning something, a step that will bring them closer to you. Not dramatic. Not rushed. But intentional. Gentle. Real. They want to approach you with the respect you were denied that day. They want to look into your eyes and assure you that you are not alone. They want to stand beside you so firmly that no one ever dares to disrespect you again. Their emotions have grown into something powerful, something transformative, something heaven itself is supporting. And right now, as destiny tightens its grip, this person is preparing their heart for a moment that will change everything. You just don't see it yet. But soon, you will. Very soon, the truth will unfold right in front of you, and when it does, it will feel like the universe finally revealing the chapter it's been hiding all along. Something huge is waiting for you, my beloved child, and the next part will bring you closer to the moment your life shifts forever. Amen. Blessing 12:12. My beloved child, something huge is waiting for you, and part 6 is where the story becomes almost unbearable in intensity. Because what happened inside that person after they accepted their feelings, even destiny wasn't prepared for it. They woke up one morning with a heaviness in their chest, not a burden, but a pull, an emotional force dragging their heart straight toward you. They couldn't explain it, couldn't rationalize it, couldn't push it away anymore. Every time they closed their eyes, they saw the exact moment that woman laughed at you, and the way you swallowed your hurt to stay calm. That image etched itself into their soul like a scar made of fire. They realized that the world had been unfair to you in ways you never deserved, and it lit something fierce inside them. They whispered into the empty air, I should have been there. I should have stepped in. I won't let this happen again. And from that moment on, every beat of their heart turned into a silent vow. Their emotions were no longer passive, they were sharp, alive, electric. They felt protective toward you in a way that almost frightened them. Not obsession, devotion. Not desperation, purpose. They felt like the universe placed a responsibility on their shoulders, to guard you, to understand you, to be there in all the ways no one ever has. And as this realization settled inside them, a storm of emotion rose so violently that they had to sit down, breathe, and accept what they had denied for too long. You matter to them more than you know, more than they ever admitted, more than they ever planned. Amen. Blessing 13:13. My beloved child, destiny was watching when something extraordinary happened. This person found themselves withdrawing from the world, not because they were sad, but because their heart had entered a phase of deep reflection. They needed space. They needed silence. They needed to understand why the thought of you being hurt affects them more than anything in their own life. They started avoiding arguments, avoiding loud people, avoiding chaos. Their soul went inward. And in that silence, they saw you, clearly, vividly, truthfully. They remembered small things about you they never realized they paid attention to: the way you fix your clothes when you're nervous, the way your voice softens when you feel misunderstood, the way you smile even when you're hiding pain, the way you walk away instead of hurting someone back. They felt an emotion that blurred their vision for a moment: pride. Yes, pride. Pride in your strength. Pride in your dignity. Pride in your resilience. And then, unexpectedly, they felt emotional to the point of trembling because you face the world alone, while they stand there feeling everything yet saying nothing. They felt frustrated, not at you, but at themselves. They kept thinking, why didn't I protect them sooner? Why did I stay silent for so long? This guilt didn't break them. It awakened them. For the first time in their life, they understood what it means to care for someone so deeply that their silence hurts more than any heartbreak. Their soul whispered, I cannot let them walk alone anymore. Amen. Blessing 14:14. My beloved child, you have no idea how close this person is to making the biggest move of their life. Something you say casually now affects them for hours. Something you do without thinking leaves an imprint on their mind they can't erase. They are becoming hyper-attuned to your presence, your emotions, your energy. When you are quiet, their heart gets restless. When you are distant, they feel uneasy. When you smile, even faintly, something in them melts. And when you pretend you're okay while hiding your wounds, it tears them apart. They are reaching the point where keeping their feelings inside is becoming physically painful. They've started thinking about approaching you. Not with drama, not with pressure, not with rushed confession, but with truth so pure it will shake your entire world. They want to look into your eyes and tell you that your worth is not defined by the cruelty of others. That your silence hasn't gone unnoticed. That your heart hasn't gone unseen. That your story hasn't gone unprotected. They want to step closer, so close that you finally understand, you are not alone anymore. They are preparing themselves to come forward with a revelation that will change everything, something destiny has been building since the day that woman laughed at you. And when this truth arrives, my beloved child, it will hit you like a divine shift, a moment where your life divides into before and after. Because this person's heart has chosen you, not by impulse, but by destiny. Something huge is waiting for you, and will take you to the edge of that transformation. Amen. Blessing 15:15. My beloved child, prepare yourself, because something huge is waiting for you, and in this part, the emotional truth inside that person reaches a point where it can no longer stay hidden. After days of battling their own heart, they reached a moment where everything inside them snapped into clarity. They were sitting alone, thinking about life, thinking about their responsibilities, thinking about their future. And suddenly your face entered their mind with a force so strong it pushed everything else aside. It wasn't a fantasy. It wasn't imagination. It wasn't desire. It was recognition. Their soul recognized you, the way a lost traveler recognizes home. They remembered that moment when that woman laughed at you, and a tear slid down their cheek without their permission. Not because they felt sorry for you, but because they felt your unspoken pain. They felt your silent strength. They felt your deep dignity. And in that instant, something powerful cracked open inside them. They whispered to themselves, "I should have protected them. I should have stood beside them. I should have made them feel safe." That regret didn't weaken them, it transformed them. It awakened a piece of their heart that had been asleep for years. A piece that belongs only to you. Amen. Blessing 16:16. My beloved child, the universe watched as this person had one of the most intense emotional realizations of their life. They grabbed their phone multiple times, wanting to message you. They typed long confessions, long paragraphs full of emotion, full of truth, full of vulnerability, but every time, their hand froze before hitting send. Not because they doubted you. Not because they were scared of you. But because they were terrified of their own emotions. Terrified of how strong they feel for you, terrified of the depth, terrified of the intensity. They have never felt something like this before. This isn't simple attraction. This isn't small affection. This is something soul deep, something destiny level, something life-changing. They kept staring at your name on their screen, their heartbeat loud, their breath uneven. One moment they wanted to run to you, the next moment they wanted to hide because they don't know how to express something this powerful without falling apart. They whispered under their breath, "How do I tell them that one laugh from someone else rewrote my entire heart for them?" The universe heard that whisper. Heaven heard that whisper. And destiny shifted again, pulling them one step closer to you. Amen. Blessing 17:17. My beloved child, what you don't know is this. They are watching you in a way they never watched anyone before. Not in a creepy way, but in a protective, emotional, deeply attentive way. They study your mood. They notice when something is off. They feel it in their chest when your energy drops even slightly. They get restless when you disappear for a while. They get emotional when they imagine you hiding your feelings because you don't want to bother anyone. They cannot stand the thought of you hurting alone. And something inside them is pushing them harder every day. Go to them. Talk to them. Tell them the truth. They deserve to hear it. This pressure is growing stronger. Their heart is tired of staying silent. Their emotions are overflowing. Their soul is ready. And they are preparing for the moment when they finally step toward you, not casually, not accidentally, but with intention so clear that you won't be able to ignore it. They want to look at you and let everything they've been holding back pour out in one single truth: you matter to me more than you realize, and I will never let anyone disrespect you again. My beloved child, destiny is tightening the gap between you and this person. The story is reaching a point where the universe will no longer allow silence. Something huge is waiting for you, and will take you even deeper into the moment everything finally begins to unfold. Amen. Blessing 18:18. My beloved child, something huge is waiting for you, and part 8 is where destiny stops whispering and starts roaring. That person, yes, the one whose heart awakened the day that woman laughed at you, has now entered a phase where their emotions are no longer gentle, no longer uncertain, no longer confusing. They have become undeniable. Every time they think about you, a rush of warmth spreads through their chest, followed by a surge of protectiveness that feels almost instinctual, primal, divine. They never expected to feel this way for anyone. They never planned for it. They never imagined it. But here they are, sitting in silence, hands clasped together, breathing slowly as one realization keeps hitting them again and again: you are the person who breaks their heart open without even trying. They don't want to run anymore. They don't want to suppress anything anymore. They don't want to pretend they're unaffected. Their soul has chosen you, and now their heart is simply trying to catch up with that truth. Amen. Blessing 1919. My beloved child, something extraordinary happened recently, an event that shook this person emotionally in a way they didn't expect. They overheard someone talking about you. Not disrespecting you, not hurting you, but simply mentioning your name. And the moment they heard your name, their heart reacted before their mind could. Their breath caught. Their eyes softened. Their shoulders relaxed. A small smile tried to appear, even though they fought it. That reaction terrified them. It made them sit down and whisper, "Why does even their name calm me like this?" They realized they are emotionally connected to you on a level that is not normal, not casual, not temporary. It's deeper. It's spiritual. It's soul-tied. And then a second thought hit them: if this is what I feel just hearing their name, what will happen when I finally stand in front of them and speak my truth? My beloved child, they are not ready, because they are beyond ready. They are trembling with emotions they can't hide anymore. Amen. Blessing 2020. My beloved child, destiny is pushing them toward you faster than they expected. They've started imagining scenarios, simple ones, gentle ones, real ones. Not dramatic confessions. Not endless speeches. But moments where they walk up to you with sincerity in their eyes, where they speak softly but truthfully, where they tell you things that will melt your entire world. They imagine saying, "You didn't deserve that humiliation, and I haven't forgotten it for a single day." They imagine telling you, "Your strength inspires me, your silence affects me, your energy pulls me in every time." They imagine standing close enough that you finally understand that they feel everything. Your hurt, your fears, your doubts, your unspoken emotions. They are at the edge now, the emotional cliff where one more push from the universe will make them step toward you with full honesty. And that moment is coming, my beloved child. Soon. Very soon. The truth that destiny has been shaping since the day that woman laughed at you is about to unfold in front of your eyes. Something huge is waiting for you, and part 9 will take you closer to the moment the confession finally begins. Amen. Blessing 2121.